Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and today we're going to be going over the all-new 2020 GMC 3500 AT4. This truck is all new for 2020, and as always, we're going to do a quick walk around on the truck, and then we're going to take it out to see how it drives. A huge shout out and thank you to National GMC down here in Utah County for providing us with the truck. I'm going to include a link to their inventory in the description below. If you're in the market for a GMC, check these guys out. Under the hood here, we have the 6.6 liter V8 Duramax that's paired to the 10-speed automatic Allison transmission. That new 10-speed is all new, obviously, for 2020. In terms of power outputs, it's going to be good for 445 horsepower and 910 pound-feet of torque. And you can just look at this thing. It is absolutely massive. Now, I've quickly thrown on the lights for you guys. We'll go over those momentarily, but you can see that you've got that similar hood to what is on the Chevys, but I actually like this a little bit more on the GMC iteration, just kind of how they've done with the whole front end. But you've got the GMC logo front and center. You have these LED reflector lights with LED accent lighting just around it that all of you guys can see. Fog lights are down below, and then you've got these red tow hooks that come with the AT4 package, and then they black out everything, so you can see that the whole front grille is all blacked out. And it goes amazingly with this white paint. Just a contrast between the black and the white, I think, looks absolutely fantastic. And finally, you can see some parking sensors are also integrated to the front. Now, around the side here, we have these 20-inch blacked out rims, 275mm tires, which is pretty standard for the truck segment, but you can see just how aggressive these tires are. This AT4 is all about off-roading, so they are going to put more aggressive tires on the truck. And I think aesthetic-wise, it looks just so good, just putting the more aggressive tires on the truck. And then you can see kind of like the whole fender flare setup just around with the little marker light on the side. I think it's a cool touch. AT4 HD badging on the side, and then you do get your Duramax badging right there. Now let's head over to the back. Oh, and quick side note, you still get this little step on the side, and you can see a little gas tank back here. We can fill in the diesel and the DEF. Now, out back here is our key fob. So you see there's a couple functions. There's your lock and unlock, and then the tailgate release and the remote start. So you lock it and then hold this down. Takes just a moment. It'll do the diesel preheat for you if it is the winter time, but then you can hear that 6.6 liter come to life. Press it again, that'll shut it off. If we press this twice, that'll lower down the multi-function tailgate. I'm gonna have to play with this for a minute to get all the functions, but first let's go over the bed area. So you can see that there's full bed liner in this already from the factory. This is the little bar to help get up into the bed, so it's like a neat little touch. And then you do get a full outlet back here as well. And then this is going to be just over 6 feet for the bed. That is the shorter bed for the heavy duty. You can get like a full 8-foot bed if you want. And then you can see again at the very end of the bed, AT4 if you forgot what truck you're driving. And then you can see the cargo light up there with a little camera just in the center. Now for this multi-function tailgate, there's this button right here that you press, and that will drop down that part of the tailgate. And then there's this little button right here that you have to hold, and then that creates the little step here for the tailgate. And see there's a bunch of instructions on it on what to do and what not to do. Gives you the max weight rating, which you can see right here is 375 pounds. And then this little bar, like I said, you pull this out, and then that helps getting in and out of the bed a lot easier. This, in conjunction with that little step that I showed you guys on the side, means it is extremely easy to access this bed, and they still give you these little footholds on the back of the bed. So this is probably the easiest truck bed on the market to get in and out of. Now let's lift up this tailgate, and the tailgate's actually lighter than what I thought. I thought that tailgate with all those mechanisms would be very heavy, but it's not. You can see GMC badge, Sierra badge down there, and like I said, those little side steps on the side. You can see the singular exhaust tip out the back. Receiver hitch right here, you've got all of your plugins. It is all set up to tow. And then finally, we have these LED lights in the back, and I love these revised lights that they've done in the GMCs. I think this is definitely one of the best rear angles on a heavy duty truck on the market right now, if not the best. Now we have the keyless entry system, so one touch to lock it and then another touch to unlock it. I just unlocked it. Now we can see the door panel here in the rear, so contrasted stitching with the leather bolsters right here. We've got this really cool black trim that goes across, kind of mimics carbon fiber just a little bit. And then we can actually look at the seats back here. So we can see these seats full leather. They've got this nice contrasted kind of like brown leather bits put into it. Got a little storage just behind the seats right there, so you just open those up. And if you actually pick up the seats, more storage underneath the seats as well. Rubber floor mats, that's gonna help out, especially since it's an off-road truck, keep it clean. And then you can see there's a bunch of charging stations back here. So you got your heated seats right here. You've got a couple of little charging stations in the rear for your rear passengers, vents on both sides, and then cup holders on the top. And then you actually do get this little kind of center armrest that has some more cup holders right there. So the front has that same keyless entry, so it's all via this button. Before we go inside though, I want to talk about the mirrors here. So these are the trailer tow mirrors that come with the GMCs. They are absolutely massive. They show everything behind you, so it is super easy to see a trailer when you are towing something. And then let's actually open up the door for the front, so you can see more of that leather padding here on the side, more of the black trim, kind of go with the sporty vibe of this truck since it is an off-road truck. Your lock and unlock controls, memory seats right here. Your mirror controls are right there, and then these little keypad to control all of that. They are power folding, and then you can see just down below we do get a Bose sound system. Looking at the seat over here, fully power adjustable for the front driver's seat. You can see that it's got more of that nice leather padding, kind of like the contrast stitching, and then more of those like brown leather bits. I like that aesthetic a lot. And then finally, we can see the pedal layout just down below. Little hood latch release. Your parking brake is right here. These are all of your light controls. That's for your cargo light, your fog lights up front, and then this is your drive mode selector. So 4-wheel high, 4-wheel low, 2-wheel drive, auto, and then you can see you can switch between the modes, so you can go into like a tow mode, for example. And then finally, it looks like the steering wheel is manually adjustable. Now stepping into the AT4, it's definitely higher up off the ground, so you can see that there are side steps on the side that I mentioned earlier. That's gonna make getting in and out of the truck a lot easier, but you just wanna put your foot on the brake, push the push start, and then the truck will start right up. You can see the gauges do a sweep. On this side, we've got this little control panel. That's for the center screen, and then there are rocker panels on the back of this part of the steering wheel for the radio. It's also on the other side as well. But Bluetooth and phone controls, you can see those are right on the steering wheel. GMC logo right there in the center. And then on the other side of the steering wheel, you can see you got your controls for the heated steering wheel. That's for your collision warning. Cruise control is all right there, and then like I said, rocker panel on the other side. You can see your windshield wiper, turn signal stalk, and then you've got your little gear selector on the other side, so you can manually shift the gears if you want yourself. Still, they stick with a column shifter. I've got our gauge cluster set up right here, so you can see on the left side you got your RPMs, on the right side you have the speed, and then there's that little center screen, and you can see that there's a bunch of different menus that you can scroll through. And this is super similar to Chevy's system, which is not a knock by any means, because Chevy's system is really good. It's really easy to use, so I'm glad that they carried that over into the GMC product. Didn't do anything to make it quirky, because it's a really good system, really easy to use, and you guys are gonna love it. Here is our center touchscreen. Let's go over the backup camera first and foremost this time. So you see when I pop it into reverse, the camera system pops up, so you get a backup camera with some trajectory lines, bird's eye view, and then you can see right here you can zoom right in, so that'll help with hooking up to a trailer. And then you can see that there's like this 360-degree view. You can see side cameras. This is a really, really neat system, and you can see it looks, that's where I am, and that's the truck right here. They even have like a little area for the tow hooks, just saying. But yeah, they have a ton of different cameras. And another thing is when you pop it into drive, actually, when you don't have this camera system up, it'll actually pop on like a front camera. If you're going from drive to reverse, back to drive, it'll pop on like a frontal camera, so that it makes doing basically parking situations a lot easier. And then the rest of the touchscreen, so you can see, super responsive. You have your Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. There is navigation function with this touchscreen as well. The whole touchscreen in general is very responsive, really easy to use, and it comes with all these little neat features. And yeah, other than that, I don't have a ton else to say. It's just a good touchscreen unit in general. Now we've got analog radio controls just down below. These are analog controls for the touchscreen, so like your home button, you can press that, that'll take you home on the touchscreen right there. And then dual zone climate in this AT4 package. You've got your heated and ventilated seats for the front passengers. And like I said, there is that heated steering wheel. That controls right there. Then we've got your controls for your hill descent control. That is for the outlets. And then you can see you've got your stability control, hazard lights. That's to drop down the tailgate, parking sensors, your lane departure assist, and then your diesel exhaust brake. Trailer brakes are already integrated from the factory. And then you have a whole bunch of charging stations in here. And you actually even get wireless charging in this AT4. And then you've got some cup holders up front in this area, but tons of storage space with a center console. Now speaking of center console, here it is. There's actually a little holder on the top, so you can put like a phone there if you want. But you got more of that stitching and nice leather, and you can open this up just a massive amount of storage space in here. You can see that there's some more charging stations right there on the top, and there's little areas where you can kind of thread through the cable if you need, but tons of storage space right there. And speaking on storage space, if we look at the two glove boxes, these open up and you can see there is plenty of storage space within both of those as well. So we have the new mirror camera system on this. So if we pull this forward, that will pop on the little camera function. If you put it back, it turns it into like a regular reverse mirror. Like I've said in other videos, this takes a second to get used to, but once you get used to it, it's so nice because there's nothing in the back here obstructing your view. It's just the camera, and so nothing blocks it. But then obviously if it gets like really snowy or really rainy where the camera gets dirty, just go back to your regular reverse mirror and you are good to go. Now up here, pretty standard system. So we've got all of our controls for OnStar, and then you've got your little sunroof controls, and then these are for the universal garage door openers as well. And then we can see it's just a traditional sunroof, no panoramic unit. It's not a good idea to have panoramic units on heavy duty trucks, just saying. But yeah, and then you can see up here we've got little microphones there for the Bluetooth system just right next to the sun visor. There's one on the driver's side as well. Now wrapping things up on the interior, I definitely like this interior. It is more upscale, especially for a truck. And then the other thing to note, this is kind of like the fully loaded version with like all the safety tech and all that stuff. So your forward collision warning, your cruise control system, your braking assistance, blind spot monitoring, all of that kind of stuff. This one stickers for just over $80,000 before any market adjustment. But that all being said, let's take out the new 3500 AT4 with the diesel to see how it drives. So let's start off in the 2020 GMC AT4. Let's talk about visibility first and foremost. So you can see over the hood, visibility is actually pretty good because the hood just abruptly drops off and you can pretty much just see right where it ends. And then see through those mirrors, like I said, visibility is fantastic. Both mirrors, you can see everything. And then you're above everything like ground wise, and so it's pretty easy just to see all around the truck. And of course I forgot to mention that there is a power rear sliding window. There you go guys, power rear sliding window. But let's fully set off in the AT4. First setting off here, let's talk about road noise and ride quality. So ride quality is actually very, very smooth for a 3500 truck and for an off-road truck. I mean, this is just going along the road very, very smoothly. And then in terms of road noise, there's not a whole lot that comes through into the cabin. You do get some nice sounds from that 6.6 liter Duramax, which I would never complain about that because it is a good sounding motor. But other than that, super, super smooth truck, very comfortable truck. You could drive this every single day, even though it is a 1-ton truck. Now, in terms of steering, the steering is very, very light and effortless, essentially. So steering on it, super, super easy to control in general. And the turning radius on this is expected for a heavy-duty truck. That being said, though, it's not hard to turn by any means. It's actually pretty easy to maneuver and turn in general, and so it kind of like turns smaller than it suggests in general, if that makes sense to you guys. Let's get a little acceleration here so you guys can see how this performs with that 10-speed. Yeah, I mean, this has more than enough power. It gets up to speed just like instantaneously. That 910 pound-feet of torque and 445 horsepower are more than enough. I don't have any feel or like need for more power. Now let's sum this thing up. So if you're looking for a heavy-duty truck that's very capable towing capacity wise and all that, but you want something that's a little bit more hardcore for the off-road, so something that can do both, right? Something that'll tow your trailer, but then something you can also take down, do some off-roading, do some trails and all that. This new AT4 is the perfect package for that. And really the only thing out in the market that's somewhat similar to it is the Power Wagon. But the problem with the Power Wagon is you can't get a diesel motor in it, and that truck, because of the sway bar link disconnect it has, that truck can't really tow. So this truck kind of gives you the best of both worlds. So if you're looking for an off-road heavy-duty truck, you have to check out this new GMC AT4. There we have it, everyone. The 2020 Sierra 3500 AT4. AT4. Thank you everyone so much for watching, and again, a huge shout out to National GMC here in Utah County for providing us with the truck. If you're in the market for new GMC, check these guys out. Link in the description to their inventory. If you're stopping in for the first time, please subscribe, comment down below what you thought, and then I will see all of you in that next video. This is such a cool touch. Look at the red shocks in the suspension. I mean, that is just, I love that kind of stuff. Like, look at that, boom. Yeah, not sure if I'm gonna put that in the review or not, but if I do, red shocks, guys, those look cool.